Everyone, and welcome to Science Lab. The science are happening because Lord Jesus Christ is coming. Every day we are looking at some of the great science that are happening around us.
Even in this episode, we are going to look at some of technological advancements in these last days.
Blockchain and cryptocurrencies burst onto the scene just after the 2008 financial crash. It was a symbolic warning that something might be wrong with our current economic system. 12 years later, the majority of structural programs since 2008 haven't been fixed.
In fact, many of those problems are much worse. So what happened to the crypto and blockchain revolution, and why haven't we been hearing about it? Well, the fact is a lot has happened in that time, but the news cycle is just focusing on the other things.
In this episode, we'll look at some of the major milestones that are taking place in the field of business, finance, and even our government. Key aspects of the financial system might be starting to change right in the front of our eyes. Blockchain is an unalterable digital list. This digital list has a record of who owns what. The key point is that the list can't be tampered with. This is because an up-to-date copy of this list of who owns what is stored on the computer of every member in the system. It's not going to match with the rest of the entries in the system. This renders the tampering invalid. That's a very oversimplified overview, but that's not the core idea. And this very idea is proving to be a very powerful tool. From blockchain came cryptocurrencies and a lot of other technologies. The biggest story in blockchain right now has to be DEFI or decentralized finance. Imagine being able to take out a loan without having a peek to anyone, or even open up a bank account or gain a 6% interest on your saving deposit without a bank signing anything or even interacting with anyone either. This and much more already exists today, and it's gotten simple enough that everyone had a phone can pick it up and take part. All you need is a DEFI app and some money that you want to spend. It works something like this. You deposit your dollars or government currencies and the app automatically converts it to a crypto of your choosing. You can use these holdings as collateral to loan against. You can also get interest on your deposit depending on how volatile the crypto is. The less volatile, the higher the interest rate. DEFI applications are built on top of the cryptocurrencies called Ethereum. Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, managed to do this through something called a smart contract. A smart contract is essentially a digital contract made of code. Its job is to replace what a human intermediary would do. The code in the smart contract writes up the terms of the agreement and enforces the rules all within the same program. No humans required. Some smart contracts are written so they are tied to real-world assets. An example of this is something called a stablecoin. A stablecoin derives its value from an undying currency called the US dollar, for example. Other smart contracts can be tied to gold or to stock. The possibilities are endless. Throughout history, making complicated but valuable things easy for the average people to use has been the hallmarks of every game changer. So DEFI could be a game changer or just another bubble. You did have to be very careful of putting any of your money in these things since it's at such an early stage and there's probably many bad actors out there. The world's largest refiner of newly minted gold, the Perth Mint, which holds over $3.2 billion of gold within its vaults. It is launching the first government gold guaranteed digital asset titled Perth Mint Gold Token. This means that through the use of cryptocurrency, you can own gold with a vault. This is in stark contrast to another tokens on the market which are often not including stablecoins, backed by nothing of value in the real world, but rather a combination of its rarity and the effort it takes to mine. In Italy, 85 of banks now use a blockchain system called Corda. Previously, banks in Italy sent physical tapes between each other in order to reconsolidate transfers between the banks. This means that the process could take between 1 to 2 months to complete. Now, with the help of Corda, authenticated and reliable reconciliation is completed within 24 hours. It seems that every bank and financial institution is finding use of a blockchain and cryptocurrencies. A couple of Swiss banks have recently been given the approval to offer cryptocurrency trading. MasterCard, Visa, and PayPal are all pivoting their services to incorporate crypto and blockchain. JP Morgan successfully tested their multiple currency prototype with Singaporean financial authorities. This was 5 years in the making. This payment network aims to make cheaper and faster international money transfers and is already being rolled out. In logistics, the use of middlemen, tracking, and storage can create problems that drastically impact a company's efficiency. Chronicled, a California-based company, is integrating blockchain and Internet of These systems in order to create a more efficient logistics system. They recently partnered with a large pharmaceutical company to help transport their products. With the authentication of each product's origin, this process not only makes transportation more efficient, but it also makes it more difficult for bad actors to try and intercept the supply chain to switch out items with counterfeit products. We have seen many technological advancements happening around us, but there is more. Don't go anywhere, we'll meet you after a short break. Welcome back to Science Lab. The signs are happening because Lord Jesus Christ is coming. Before the break, we saw some of the technological advancements that is happening around us, and let's continue exploring even more. Blockchain is also being implemented by some tech giants. Earlier this year, Microsoft included Lithium, a blockchain that integrates into Microsoft cloud computing system Azure. This allows developers to integrate blockchain solutions into their apps.
Last year, Samsung integrated a blockchain wallet into its smartphones with the unveiling of the S10. This gives way to the use of decentralized apps or DApps. DApps give developers the opportunity to integrate blockchain into a mobile application. While it's still in its infancy, DApps ranging from health to social media platforms and charity are already being developed.
Far from the offices of big banks or mechanical manufacturing floors, the famed cryptocurrency Bitcoin is helping advance the semiconductor industry. Interestingly, the pursuit of faster and more efficient problem solving has increased demand for semiconductors due to Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining is an act that gives the coin its value by making it a rarity. The mining process is credited by some analysts as one of the leading causes of recent advancements in the semiconductor industry. In South Africa, Tumelo Ramaphosa, son of the president, is trying to tackle the issue of illegal poaching, which has ravaged the country's wildlife in the name of greed. His product, Stutex, works in partnership with IBM to use the Internet of Things and blockchains to verify the ownership of animals. The idea is to track an individual animal's movement, heart rate, and more, and put it all to this data on a blockchain. This creates another layer of difficulty for poachers to illegally sell and illegally attain animals. Recently, the United States Postal Services just issued a blockchain patent, which was the sure mail-in voting. China, Japan, Canada, Britain, South Korea, and many other countries are talking about making big moves into cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, the United States and the other major global economies are struggling to change and adapt to the rapid pace of blockchain development. Emerging economies across Asia and Africa are embracing advancements in fintech and blockchain. These efforts provide attractive economic opportunities that don't discriminate based on nationality, wealth, or credit. Legacy financial institutions may struggle to compete. Unproductive participants could lose market share. Some analysts are predicting a return to healthy competition in the financial sector. The central banks of government around the world are focusing their efforts on blockchain, continuing a trend of developing a digital version of existing currencies. Britain is reviewing the development of a digital pound. Thailand is in the development of its own digital currency, and Japan is planning trials for its digital yen. But China is leading the way. The Central Bank of China is beginning to test digital yuan. This was done through a selected group of whitelisted employees. This trial, if successful, could usher in a new wave of adoption, with 4 of the largest banks in the world ranked by assets all being in China. And lastly, the Chinese government is planning to implement the digital currency at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. Meanwhile, in South Korea, the government plans to invest nearly $50 billion into what they call the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the digital civilization. This includes the implementation of the blockchain solution by 2025. The implementation of the cryptocurrencies are not constrained to just governments. In fact, there appear to be many examples where digital coins are being used due to a lack of government leadership. Recently, Hong Kong passed legislation that would allow governments to freeze and confiscate people's assets. This had raised fears that it may be used for a tool to suppress speech, particularly those who aren't fond of Chinese government. Soon after the law are enacted, certain stablecoins, coins that are tied to existing real-world currencies, saw an uptick in value. Trading volume rose between Hong Kong dollars and the US stablecoin, which is pegged to the US dollar. This suggests that whoever is trading it to be a handful of wealthy individuals or a mass number of average citizens. Whoever it is, these people in Hong Kong were cautious of the new law, and they were taking things into their own hands by protecting assets by converting it to a more flexible and easier to transfer store of wealth. Brazil, recently hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, saw its economy struggling. During these times, the national currency disappeared to a record low. This caused the nation to also see a similar uptick in the trading volumes of stable coins. This now seems to be a very new global trend among poorly performing economies. When currencies are failing and trusting in governments is diminishing, it seems that individuals with these troubled economies are turning to cryptocurrencies to preserve their wealth. Even in the United States, a study as reported by Forbes revealed that 15 American adults now own a form of cryptocurrency, and about half of those were first-time buyers this year. Why would the bank disrupt themselves by introducing a digital currency that would make it easier for customers and businesses to disintermediate the banks? The banks may not be the innovators. It may be that they are the reactors and they will react when others innovate. Right now, digital currencies sounds very 80 and a kind of alternative style, but it's becoming the mainstream. So the largest banks are now aware of this. So although it's not being discussed in the media, the implementation of cryptocurrencies to create more secure assets and the blockchain to automate more of the economy seems more relevant now than ever.
Central banks are now seriously looking into the technology, while many businesses are finding innovative uses for blockchain. The boom and bust of the crypto bubble in 2018 may have quelled some of these predictions, but taking a deeper look, it actually doesn't seem like cryptocurrencies are going away.
Blockchain solutions keep springing up, from fighting poachers to improving banking to helping citizens with unstable government. It really looks like blockchain will be an important part of our future.
What is foretold in the Bible is happening again in our lifetime. All these technological advancements shows that we are living in the last days. Lord Jesus Christ is coming again very soon. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to tune into Science Lab next time.
And before we end the show, we would like to ask you a question from this episode. What is the name of the blockchain introduced by Microsoft? Option A, Bitcoin, option B, Lithium, and option C, Ethereum.
If you know the correct answer, send it to our email ID sciencelab@angeltv.org. If you have missed any of these episodes, don't worry, you can watch it again and again in our Science Lab YouTube page. But don't forget to like, share and comment on the video.
And also ask your friends and relatives to watch the Science Lab so that they will know that we are living in the last days. Remember, signs are happening because Lord Jesus Christ is coming. Maranatha.